Good morning. And after it's good afternoon. It's 1 o'clock. But I'm always a morning person, so I'm running on like morning time all the time. That being said, it is an NBA Tuesday here at Amazing Great Sports Studios. Of course, when you get analyzation of analytics and humor. We don't give you any quackery about soap operas, and we'll go more into that later on about what's what we don't go into in people's lives. It just gets to be too much. It's just like going into policing their lives and what they should be doing. We like to talk about what happens on the NBA court. And if we're talking about football, we talk about what happens on the NFL field. If we're talking about baseball, we want to talk about what's happening on the baseball diamond. And if you're doing cricket, we want to talk about what's happening on the cricket field. If we're doing soccer, we want to talk about what's happening on the soccer field. That being said, let's get started. Now, usually Tuesdays are just Eastern Conference. We just do the Eastern Conference for the most of the time. But today I'm going to take all of yesterday's games because something important happened yesterday or 2 days ago. The Los Angeles Lakers won their first game. And you would think that a cure for cancer had been found in the national media. There was rejoicing and there was crying. And we will get to that later. Now let's start off with, we had the Sacramento Kings who played the Charlotte Hornets yesterday. And the Sacramento Kings won 115 to 108. And they won in Charlotte. So they traveled all the way from the West Coast, came east. And the furthest part we won, all East Coast. Charlotte's right on the water there. And, well, not really, but it's close enough. And they beat them. They beat the Charlotte Hornets, which really goes to show how bad Charlotte is. But before I say that, I mean, Sacramento Kings, they're only 2-4, and Charlotte's 3-4. So they're basically about the same thing. But still, Charlotte lost. That's a lack of focus right there. You lose on your home court to a team that's not overpowering. Field goals. Sacramento shot worse. Hornets shot better. Am I reading this right? Yeah. Yes, I am. I'm reading it correctly. The Kings won. They shot worse. They made more they shot worse than 3-pointers, 38 to 48. In field goals, they were 43 to 51. Charlotte's the latter. Charlotte had less rebounds. Charlotte had more assists. How did they lose? Who the heck knows? They had more blocks, more steals. Charlotte had only one more turnover and they lost the game. That, ladies and gentlemen, is inexplicable. So I won't even try to explain. I'm going to move on to the next game. I'm going somewhere with this. Just hang on. The Houston Rockets played the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Clippers won 95 to 93. Now, this is the way it should look. The Clippers had a better field goal percentage, 42 to 38. They had more rebounds, they had more assists, and they had more blocks. And see, that's what you. This goes according to the plan. This is what is supposed to happen. So, right now, as we look at it, the Clippers, what are they? I don't have a idea of how many games they won. It doesn't say here. Well, they must be doing better than Houston. Should I look that up? I'll look it up later. Oh, here we go. Here we go. What and it still doesn't say on my sheet here. Where's my statistician? I'm going to have to bring them up for this one because I'm supposed to have that stat of wins and losses. We'll let that go. The Detroit Pistons played the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Bucks, this is the second of a back-to-back. Okay, they did a game before that. They played Atlanta, and they beat Atlanta. And then now they're traveling to Detroit. No, they're at home against the Pistons, and they beat the Pistons 110 to 108. It was a close game, but as usual, Giannis led the way. Now, in field goals, It was about tied at 44%. Three-pointers tied at 27%. Free throws. Now, this is a little bit different. They had 29, and I'm sure they were sending Giannis to the line. Giannis goes to the line a lot for a guy who lowers his shoulder and his head and goes into people. Total rebounds, Milwaukee had more blocks. They had more turnovers, but they won the game. And that's the most important part. The Memphis Grizzlies traveled to Utah to take on the Jazz. And the results were not that great for the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, this is surprising because that's John Moran. He's one of my favorite players. But, well, if you're going to travel, see, this is what traveling usually does. It usually takes the legs out of these players unless they have a really good team that's played together for a long period of time and they're not relying on athleticism. They're relying on team continuity. That would be a team that's played together, such as the Boston Celtics, the Golden State Warriors, the Miami Heat. Utah killed them in three-pointers, 40% to 23% for Memphis. And, wow, Grizzlies had 42 free throws. 42 free throws. How do you get 42 free throws? The other team only had 22 free throws. Well, the Grizzlies might have had 42 free throws, but they only made 23 of them. It's like half. And Utah was 18 to 22. Turnovers were about the same, but they won 121 to 105, scoring 31 points in the fourth quarter to take the game. I think what I'm going to talk about later when it comes to entitlement is playing into these free throws. I want you guys to notice something, and this is why you shouldn't be betting on NBA games. Right. Shouldn't be betting on NBA games because there's a game within the game that's going on that you guys need to know about. Philadelphia 76ers traveled to Washington and beat up on the Wizards. Field goals. Actually, 76ers had more field goals, three-pointers, free throws. They were 14 to 20. The Wizards were 25 to 26. And yet, the Wizards lost. Go figure. Now, we have the Houston Rockets taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. Well, actually, they traveled to Los Angeles to play the Clippers. Now, that being said, the Clippers won. 95. You know, I think I covered this. I did. I already covered this. So we're not going to do it again. Clippers won. That's not going to change. No matter how many times I read this, Houston still lost. Now we come to the game that I want to talk, another game that I would like to talk about. The Indiana Pacers taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Actually, they traveled to Brooklyn from Indiana to take on the Nets. And Brooklyn won. And similar to what happened when the Lakers finally won the game, there was tears and sobbing and things of that sort in the national media, which I have a hard time figuring out. It's just another team with players, and those players, as human beings, aren't any different from the players that are on other teams. Stop giving preferential treatment if you can help it. But it's really not your fault, is it, media? Because the NBA is pushing it. And I will further expand on that. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, they shot better. They had they shot a better field goal percentage. They shot 54%, and Pacers shot 47%. Brooklyn had 11 three-pointers. The Pacers have 11 three-pointers. Free throws. Brooklyn was 19 of 20. The Pacers 16 of 23. And okay, listen, I'm not going to make that face. Okay, that face is because I don't believe that. Well, they don't have too many people to go to the hoop. Okay, total rebounds about the same, 39 to 38. Turnovers, the Nets made less. And let's go over who is winning, who's leading in the East. The Bucks. The Bucks are leading in the East. They are 6-0, undefeated, and they just won a back-to-back. Cleveland, I watched them the other day when they took on the Knicks, and they are, well, actually, not really they, but that guy, Donovan Mitchell, and I'm going to have to bring a guy on who told me that Donovan Mitchell was really this good. Really this good. I mean, I've seen Donovan Mitchell, and he's looked really good, but this year, he is off the chain good, and if you get a chance to watch the Cavaliers, watch it because Donovan Mitchell is going to do something exciting and something that's going to make you go, wow. The Celtics, number 3, with a 4-2 record. So you have the Bucks, the Cavaliers, and the Celtics. Cavaliers at 5-1. Celtics, they're missing a big man, and they're missing some parts, and they're missing a gritty player. They don't have a gritty player, PJ Tucker, a gritty player who's going to stick his nose in there and get things done. They have finesse plays, they have good plays, they have good to great plays, but they still need a gritty player to get in there and get the muck work done. Then you have the Raptors, the Hawks, and the Knicks. Now, the Knicks are a team to watch. They lost to the Cavaliers the other day, but they were right in it to the end. I mean, pulling up the rear, you have the Magic at 1-6. They're a young team. I think everyone's at 23 and under. You have the Pistons at 2-6, the Heat at 2-5, and that's surprising. But you know that's going to change. The Nets are at 2-5. And the Lakers are at 1-6, as well they should be. Now, we're going to talk about something that I would like to bring up, especially for you younger fans, because this is something you don't know. And I think you should know the history of some things that are occurring in the NBA that even you are finding egregious. I was talking to someone the other day, and actually this morning, and he had watched the Bucks game. And you know I'm a big fan of Giannis. Giannis is a young, upcoming guy. As a matter of fact, I call him Zeus. I call him a Greek god. Giannis, Zeus. That guy is hard to stop. But he noticed that Giannis is getting away with throwing his shoulder into the opponent's chest or his elbows. Now, could Giannis still be a good player if he didn't do that? Not as much. As a matter of fact, if you took that away, Giannis is severely limited. That's not to say that he's not a great player as they let him play. But if they took that away, it would be a different story. I mean, the guy wouldn't even last a freaking half. That being said, let's talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, and sports fans everywhere, can we talk about something without feelings getting hurt? Can we talk about the NBA and entitlement? Because there was a time when the NBA, when a star was a star, because he played with the same rules as everyone else and was just better. He jumped higher, or he ran faster, or he shot better, or he combined all three along with superior coordination than the rest of the players in the NBA. You see, he was really a star. Case in point, one Wilton Norman Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was so overpowering that they changed the rules in order to restrict him because he was making a mockery of the game as we know it. He could play within the rules that they had, and he was scoring 56 points a game. Oh, wait a minute, 50 points a game. 56 is still a bit much, but 50 is pretty reasonable. 50 points a game is what he averaged for a whole year. And after that, they started really changing the rules because it was just getting out of hand. Now, I can't claim to be a 20-year-old, or 30-year-old, or 40-year-old. Let's just say that I'm an experienced basketball watcher. I've watched the game grow in popularity all around America and around the world. The NBA new money marketing scheme was built on Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. But they were stars before they got to the NBA. They were stars, big stars in college. The same with Michael Jordan. But with them, the NBA found a winning formula. It's called marketing. Marketing. Now, this would take some time coming out of the Bird, Johnson, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan area, where these guys were coming out of college and they already had a name for themselves in college and were coming into the NBA. But it would mature. And then it would start to manifest itself fully with the arrival of Shaq and Kobe Bryant, basically. Penny Hardaway's in it. They have some other ones in there. Larry Johnson, Grandmama is what they call them. The NBA found that it could make and market stars. Shaq was allowed to do what they expressly would not allow Wilt Chamberlain or any other center before Shaq to do. Lower his shoulder and ram it into the chest of the defending player. Now, why would they do that? The point is this, that if you took that away from Shaquille O'Neal, he had no game. Now, I like Shaq. Shaq was a load the way they let him play. But if he had to play under the same rules as Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Nate Thurman, Dave Cowens, if he had to do that, how long do you think Shaq would have lasted in the NBA? Do you think he would have even made the NBA? Is that blasphemy to say? But it's true. Now, with that, traveling, what we used to know as traveling, also became a no-call. Allen Iverson's palming, what we used to call palming, was now called the crossover. Now, the reason I bring this up to you is because the more things change, the more they stay the same. The problem that everyone is having with Giannis, or Zeus to me, is the problem that many of us had with LeBron James 20 years ago. What Giannis is doing is what LeBron James was allowed to do. But other players aren't allowed to do this. If they run into somebody with their elbows or put their shoulder into their chest, a foul is called. But for certain players, things are more relaxed. You see, are you confused? Are you confused now? You can't understand why? Let me tell you why. The NBA is a business. And in this business, it needs fans. It needs sponsors. It needs advertisers. It needs global awareness. In that sense, knowing that the NBA was trying to market itself all around the world, players were given a free pass to do these things and also to behave badly as long as they portrayed an urban cultural image that the NBA could market as chic. From that entitlement, we have come to these super teams. The LA Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets. Teams with non-functional, older, dysfunctional players. These players have been given special treatment their whole career. And now they're getting special treatment in the television media industry. We are experiencing something akin to a soap opera, because when these teams win, people are crying and they're talking about this and they go into their lives. We don't care about their lives. Their lives is their lives. We care about what's happening on the basketball court. We care about them competing. Now, that being said, they're not bad to watch if you like comedy. But other than that, they're horrible. They make too many mistakes. They're too old. Most of them don't like to play defense. I've already gone into that last week, and I can name them out. Some of them don't want to play defense, and some of them can't play defense. But we shouldn't have to watch a soap opera when it's just sports. We want to watch competition. Otherwise, we would turn on reruns or find a soap opera on television because there are still soap operas out there. So what's that? That's going to be my closing statement. Hopefully I brought you up to date. Those of you who are young and don't know how it got this way, that Giannis is giving these calls when others aren't. Well, it started with LeBron, which actually started with Shaq, which, well, we just can go down the list. And if you think you know, comment, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think you know. What players were given special treatment in order to make them stars in the NBA. Now, I think when I say this, I'm hurting feelings because there's plenty of fans that have grown up with a lot of these players and think them to be otherworldly, fantastic, beautiful. The best thing that happened since a ham sandwich. When I've seen from Walt Frazier all the way up to Ja Morant. Yes. It's good players are good players. Really, they don't need the extra treatment because if you made Giannis stop doing what you're letting him do now, he would become a better player. He would learn to shoot that jumper. He would learn to shoot a hook shot, or Shaq would have learned to shoot a hook shot if he wasn't allowed just to put his shoulder into somebody. He would have learned to shoot a shot that he never had to and limited his game severely. That being said, if you disagree or if you agree, leave me a comment. Remember to leave a comment, subscribe. Amazing Grace Sports Network, bringing to you reality like you've never heard it before in the media. And why not? You deserve to know. These guys don't want to tell you because they think they got you suckered. You're going to believe everything they tell you. Don't fall for that. Do your own research. You are the most important person in sports. With that, I'm signing off. Thank you very much for tuning in. I always have to thank everyone around me, everyone who makes it possible. And hopefully, listen, I'm going to try something. If you want to join in on a podcast with me, email me, text me. I'll bring you in and we can talk about whatever the interest is of that day. It could be the NFL, could be the NBA, could be baseball. The Phillies are playing. I think they're winning. You text me, leave a comment, and I will contact you, and I will bring you on. Co-host, guest, however you want it to be. Whatever you want to say, let's hear it. I got you. Guaranteed. That's the way I want it. Hopefully that's the way you want it. I will talk to you later. Ciao, Bella. Hasta la vista. Sayonara. I'll see you. Tomorrow's Wellness Wednesday. We will talk about supplements that keep me looking so young at age 63. Keeps me viable. If you saw the video last week, you saw me at the gym pumping some serious heavy iron. Not so much, but that's what tomorrow's Wednesday. Last week we did at the gym. This week we're going to do supplements that will keep you motivated or keep you motoring. That's the way we like to say it. And I won't make any more faces like when I disagree with something that I'm thinking about or reading. Till then, I'll see you later. Ciao. It's been great. Have a good day. Bye.